Okay, very excited to have a great panel for discussions today. And so thanks a lot to Dr. Oketch-Rabah for organizing this. And it was actually her idea, not mine. And we're always happy to have ideas for these conversations. So we do this regularly, twice a month. And we are Pharma Connect Africa and also Association for African Medicinal Plant Standards. So this webinar is called Ensuring Botanical Safety because natural can be deadly, natural can kill. And so before I hand over to my moderator, I just maybe want to introduce a little bit about what we do. So we are also in association with USP. Thank you, Hellen. CEDA. Thank you, our CEDA people. And my name is David Katerere. I'll give a talk later. What we do is we actually curate all these conversations on YouTube. So we have a YouTube channel where we curate, and you're free to go there, subscribe, look at other content previously. And if for some reason there are people who are not able to get into the meeting, maybe they have bandwidth issues, you can just direct them to Facebook because it's also streaming as is. On YouTube, we actually load after 10 days because we are going to edit out every speaker into their slot, and then we will put it on there. Diary of events. So in May, we had a talk on radiopharmaceuticals. It's now on the YouTube channel. Today, really excited about this one. Natural can kill. So herbal medicine safety. I think in North America, you like to say botanical medicine. And then next week, we are actually starting a course on manufacture and registration of biological and biosimilar medicines. Then we have a talk on university industry partnerships. In July as well, we have the cannabis talk. So we are launching a cannabis center here. August in South Africa is Women's Month. So we go through that and we do womenpreneurs. So what are women doing in natural products, biotech industry, and other interesting things? So just diarize that. And this is a course that starts next week. So it's in association with ICGEB. For any communication, you can always send Nano an email if you want to be on our mailing list, or if you have any other questions or you want to make contact in one way or the other. Yeah, so I'll hand over now to Dr. Hellen Oketch-Rabah, a good friend of mine and really great collaborator. Over to you.
Thank you, David, for that wonderful introduction. Let me put on my camera. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This session is about botanical safety. And like my colleague David said, it's the subtitle is because what is natural can also kill. It may seem extreme, but when you think about it, that actually is the truth. First, I want to thank Professor Katerere, David, that is, and PharmaConnect for providing us the opportunity to hold this webinar. My name is Hellen Oketch-Rabah. I'm a pharmacognosist by training and a practicing toxicologist. For Bacon, I work for the United States Pharmacopoeia. The mission of USP is to improve global health through public standards and related programs that help ensure the quality, safety, and benefit of medicines and foods. So my organization mainly develops quality standards for medicines, food ingredients, and dietary supplements, but also has other public health programs. Today, I'll be facilitating this meeting on safety of botanicals, a subject that is very close to my heart. So we all know that there is a global increase in the use of botanicals for healthcare needs such as medicines, dietary supplements, and foods. In the United States, most botanical products that are used for healthcare are used as dietary supplements because we don't have a category called herbal medicines. And dietary supplements in the United States are considered a special category of foods. In Africa and in other countries, there's a mixture of categories of botanical products. We have, for example, herbal medicines, herbal supplements, and some are used as novel foods and food supplements. Now, many people believe that because botanicals are natural, they are safe, which is far from true. In fact, some plants are highly poisonous. For example, hemlock, that is Conium maculatum, is very poisonous and was used to kill condemned prisoners in ancient Greece. The most famous being Socrates, the philosopher, who died because of hemlock. And then we have ricin from castor beans, Ricinus communis, which is actually has been studied as a potential weapon of war and has been used to eliminate political prisoners, or rather political opponents in certain parts of the world, which I'll not mention. But more recently, we've heard stories of Ricinus, of ricin being sent to people by terrorists as a threat. Now, apart from the highly poisonous plants, other plants or anything else that is ingested can also be poisonous depending on the dose. As Paracelsus says, the dose makes the poison. Now, because of the extensive exposure to botanicals, ensuring the safety of botanical derived products is important for public health and is therefore a priority. But there are challenges. The challenges are that botanicals are naturally complex, unlike single chemical entities. And so the methods applied for determining the safety of chemical entities will not probably work very well for botanical products. The botanical products usually have very complex and variations in composition due to factors such as differences in growing conditions of the plant material, due to different extraction processes, for example, which solvents are used, whether it's cold or hot extraction, and eventually the formulation that is made, whether the final product is liquid extract, capsules, tablets, and the kind of excipients that are used in the formulations, and whether the products are single ingredient or multiple ingredients. So determining the safety of botanicals then remain quite a challenge. In this webinar, we have speakers who will give us an overview of the sets of information that can be used to determine the safety of botanicals. We'll then hear from the industry perspective on how they determine safety of botanicals. And then we look at a regulatory perspectives on how this is done. And we'll also hear about new approaches that are being developed for evaluating the safety of botanicals. So just to give you a little of what my organization does in terms of determining botanical safety. At USP, we develop quality standards for botanical dietary supplements and other supplements as well, in order to ensure that we do not develop standards for substances that can cause harm to the public. We perform a safety evaluation, which we also call admission evaluation because of the purpose. The main purpose of the safety evaluation is to ensure that not only ingredients not associated with serious risk to health are admitted for monograph development. The chart that I'm showing you here shows the kind of information that we consider in that process. And basically, once that report is made, then a summary of that report is published in the Dietary Supplement Compendium, a compendium that's available online for subscription. Now, that summary, once published, of course, that is available to the public. And on the next page, I'll give you an example of such a summary. So here is an example of a summary published in the Dietary Supplement Compendium. You can see that there's an introduction, and there's a definition of that article, which is the same as the definition that is in the monograph, in the USP monograph that is associated with that article. Then we have information about presence in other pharmacopoeia, potential adulterants, intake levels as a dietary supplement. And then we have safety information, which includes clinical studies, adverse event data. And then we have toxicological data from animal studies. And then we have animal studies as well as in vitro studies. We also provide information about potential interactions and cautions associated with that article. And lastly, we have a concluding remarks section, which tells you whether the ingredient was admitted for monograph development and whether any label caution statements is required or any other things that are required for that article. So this is available and provides information which I encourage you to look for yourself and see, because I think it's very useful for people who are interested in botanical safety and dietary supplement safety. So that is what USP does in terms of determining botanical safety. Now, without further ado, I would like to go over what the program is today. As you can see, we have a very tight schedule, and we'll have a 20 minutes talk from each of the speakers. And then after that, we are going to have a break of 5 minutes in between, and then come back and continue. So for the remaining part of this webinar, we will listen to our first speaker, Dr. Robin Miles, who will show us that traditional knowledge and scientific knowledge evidence are complementary in determining the safety of botanicals. Then Ms. Connie Mitchell will walk us through new methodological approaches being developed by the Botanical Safety Consortium, a collaboration between the US government, academia, and the industry that will hopefully revolutionize how botanical safety is evaluated. Then Dr. Amy Rowe will give us a view into how P&G evaluates the safety of botanicals that are used in some of the consumer products that we use daily. Next, Mr. Nana Buffy Yeboah will show us a practical application in the regulatory environment, how Health Canada tackles botanical safety from a regulatory perspective. Last but not least, we will listen to a case study on herbal medicine overview from Africa by our esteemed host, Professor David Katerere. So without further ado, I have the pleasure now to introduce Dr. Robin Miles, a good friend and a mentor. Robin is a pharmacognosist who studied at University of Illinois, Chicago with Professor Farnsworth. Yes, that is the famous Farnsworth. Currently, Robin is the senior scientific advisor in the Bureau of Nutritional Sciences in the Food Directorate of Health Canada. He is also a longtime volunteer at USP, and currently he chairs USP Botanical Dietary Supplement and Herbal Medicines Expert Committee. I will not say much more, but only to say that he's a great photographer, and you'll see that from some of his pictures. So Robin, I hand it over to you, and welcome.